5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Having a podcast looks fun, but I don't know. But I do think that there's a lot of, still like potential that technology, brings you, and it's only going to get easier and easier, I think, to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Have you ever done stuff with audio or video, anything like that?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did YouTube before when I was in Netherlands. I made a unboxing with some trimmer or clipper, something like that. Or when I went to Spain, I went to club and I just took a video inside. Just editing for fun. So I have maybe 8 or 9 video in the YouTube. So that's why I use a Final Cut. Also, when I made a techno music, I also just make it fun on the Instagram. So I made like a shortcut, 1 minute, something like that. So I used that Final Cut. And I think the Final Cut is pretty good. But that's... I think it's hard to maintain when you do something like a content or something. So I do only 8. Then, I made like a 10 minutes of a video. Then I have to spend like 8 hours.
Yeah.
So that's why I just quit. It's not quit. Just there's no time to make it. So yeah, man.
So is that why you went to the Netherlands originally, was to be a techno DJ?
Yeah, that was my main reason, actually, because I do like 7 years for a lesson to become a producer, like a big producer. So I went to the lesson group who teaching some JYP, you know him? It's pretty famous in Korea.
Oh, really?
I learned from him as well. But, I I have to earn money for the lesson fee, So I work at the like a KPN, telecom company. From that, I earn like when I was young, when I was like a 23, 24, I earned like 4,000 or 5,000 euro as a euro. It was pretty big money.
Per month?
Yeah, per month.
Oh, okay.
So it was okay as a youth.
Yeah, for 23, for sure.
Yeah.
What were you doing for KPN?
Sales. Sell the cell phone, like internet, Wi-Fi, something like that. So since then, I was desperate at the beginning to become a producer, but when it comes to get a big salary from my bank account, I felt like, I think I can do it for fun. You have the money, you can chill, you can buy whatever you want, travel. So the music was going to second priority, Since then, I spent like 4 or 5 years like that. And eventually when I was 25 or 6, I like all of a sudden I feel, oh man, if I do like this in the future, then I think when I become a 50, I still have to sell the fucking iPhone, which is not bad, but that's not what I want, in my future. So yeah, that's why I decided to go some other country at the beginning. So I decided to go to Australia at the beginning. Actually, that was 2018. Yeah, 18. Since 2014, 15, I tried to go like a Canada, but Canada was like a draw, is it right? Like only 100,000 person can go, but it's a random.
Like a lottery.
Yeah, lottery. So I have to wait like, I don't know, till when they choose me. So I wait 2 years. That's why became like 2018, but I couldn't wait anymore. Was times goes by, so I couldn't wait.
So wait, sorry, just for the timeline purposes. Okay, so when you first left Korea, what year was that?
2019.
2019. So from 2014 to 2019, you were still in Korea.
Yeah.
And you did school for the electronic music?
No.
I
just learned myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went to the Netherlands when?
When?
2019?
19, yeah.
Okay.
2019
So you
December.
wanted to go to Canada before that?
Yeah. 2018, I wanted to go to Canada. But they never choose me. So I changed the plan to go to Australia, because Australia is it's like if I just applicate it, then immediately I can go. The visa is like completely free, and everybody can take it. So 2018, I applied to Australia. So at November of 18, I had a flight to go. So I quit the telecom company, and I went to trip, my last trip, I would say, with my friends to go. Went to Philippines, like 2 weeks before, I guess, to take a flight, and I met one girl.
Man. I knew where this is going.
I met one girl. She was Korean. She also was traveling.
Oh, in the Philippines, you met a Korean girl who was also traveling. Wow.
Yeah, there was a game change. Yeah, I met the girl, and she was my ideal type, and she was so pretty. I took her number, and we drink together. We had a fun night each other. I had it with my friend, and she also had her friend. So we just talk, and we had to leave next day. So I said, yeah, we might meet again if we back in Korea. She lived in Seoul. I live nearby in Seoul. So I came first to Korea, and she came, and we met again. With all together, and she seems like she liked me as well, and definitely I like her. So in my mind, I had to choose, like, should I choose her or should I go to Australia, because it was only 1 week left. So I had to choose in both sides. Anyway, any side, I'm gonna regret. If I choose her, I'm gonna regret to not go, and if I choose to Australia, then I'm gonna regret to say bye to her. And she said, "Don't go."
Oh man.
Yeah, she said, "Don't go." So I just canceled my old flights and accommodation, the visa, bank account. I had everything, but I just canceled.
Wow.
All of it.
Everything.
And I choose her. That was November 18, 2018.
I was like, wow, he knows the exact date.
I forgot. Anyway, since then, I just start to work again at the same company. I say sorry. I explain all my situation. So he welcomed me. Just, you can work again. So I had a great time with her and my work. We had a great time. Amazing. I loved her. Not love. But after 1 year, in my mind, still something like firing, like I need to something change still in my mind, because I pause it because of her. So I was happy with her, but I don't know, something I cannot explain what it is in my mind back in the day. I had to change,
just like some kind of burning itch that you just weren't happy.
Yeah. Like I had to chase what I want in my life. So on behind from her, I just search again. Where can I go? The other country, because in Korea, if you live in Korea, there's like you feel like stuck. Here's not multicultural, not not like a Netherlands or not like America. So what you can see is only Korean people, how they live and how they work, how they save your money, spend the money. So it's like I felt blind, but I wanted to explore more. What is the other side, other country, how they live. So yeah, since then I searched it and I found Netherlands also have a working holiday program. It's like 1 year you can work with a visa, you can travel. I didn't know. I knew Netherlands. I knew the what is where is the Netherlands because Netherlands is the most biggest the country famous with the techno and electronic music. So since 2012, when I into the DJ and the producer, I knew Netherlands the country. But I didn't know they also have the working holiday program. So yeah, I searched all the condition. How can I go? Secretly, I didn't. Yeah,
behind your girlfriend's
yeah,
back.
yeah. And yeah, I was bad. I apply everything, but I didn't tell her till I accepted. And
So nothing happened in the relationship where you were unhappy about it or anything. It was just that same urge you had before, the thing that made you want to go to Australia and travel and explore. You just never really lost that.
no,
And the relationship wasn't so good that you were like, okay, I want to give all that up.
it was good, but as you know, the relationship when it's times go by, when it's getting longer, then there's some bad side and good side. You can see everything and fight each other. I also had those problem issue.
So then let's talk about that moment, because what you just said of the Korea is very like one culture, right? And it's pretty much Korean.
Mhm.
So you kind of said that you wanted to learn about other cultures, learn about other countries and other people. So sometimes one of the things that I've been here now for almost 1 month, right? And that one of the things that I've heard is that foreigners, especially, like Americans and Europeans, would get like this special treatment because everybody's so curious, about, like your life and how things are, in America and Europe and stuff like that. Is that part of why? Is because like in America, we meet people from other countries all the time. Same in like the Netherlands, like you said, Rotterdam, where we both live, super international city. But so like in Korea, if you don't really meet a lot of, Westerners, is that why people are so curious, because you really just don't get to interact with their cultures and that's like your chance to find out more about the world without leaving Korea?
Mm, I'll say they don't know about the other culture. They only know with like social media how they live and how they make a fun. So when they met like a Westerner, you say Westerner, they really curious, as you said, because they don't know about their life, and one of the reason is they want to speak English. Some of it they want to speak English, they want to practice, but the some other side they don't want. That's why there's like a both side want to they speak English pretty well, and some people they're not. And hmm, I can I say my opinion?
Of course. It's not politics.
Yeah. In Korea, also we have some like it's not stereotype like a racist. I would say racist. It's not racist, but they like more white. Yeah, they like more white than like more East Asia, like a Philippine or Vietnam. I feel like that. It's not the racist, but I think they American people, we impact from them a lot. So we also really close with English and all those culture, like Halloween, those things. That's why they more, if I compare between Asian and American or like European, then Korean people, they more like Western culture. That's why when they come to Korea, they're more curious about them, not to Asian people.
Yeah.
And they can speak English, and the Vietnam or like more Asian country, they can't speak. That's why they more want to hang with them, and they want to know more those culture. I think because of that, yeah, it's a little bit different treatment.
It's interesting that because we talked about this the last time I think that I was here, of that now Korea is becoming such an influential culture across the world, right? Like in Rotterdam, there is a K-pop festival, once a year. And it's huge. Like tons of people go. I talked to different colleagues whose kids, like their kids listen to K-pop. I think, Blackpink has probably the last time, how on Spotify you can check the global charts of all these different countries. I think in the first like top 10 countries by population or whatever, Blackpink had like 3 or 4 songs in the top 10 for each one of these countries. So what's interesting is when we talked about this is like, I haven't met a single person, above 20 years old since I've been here that says I listen to Blackpink or I listen to this person or whatever.
Me neither.
But so it's like, and also K-dramas, right? It's when I talk to, people our age here about K-dramas, they say, oh, I don't really watch a lot of, Korean television or Korean Netflix or whatever. Yet people in America and people in Europe and in different places are consuming that like crazy. So what do you think about how like this part of your culture, you guys aren't even really consuming it that much, but the rest of the world is like crazy about it?
I'm curious as well. Yeah, but I think I understand the K-drama. I think if you watch like all different drama from other country, then what I feel Korean drama is more like you can feel that emotion and the stories most likely. And if you watch like American drama, then it's kind of more fun, make a humor or suspense. There's no like there's a sad, but not in the drama, maybe in the film maybe. K-pop. I don't personally I don't follow K-pop, so I don't know what the hell is going out there. But but the thing is, I think from Netflix is went to really huge. The Netflix, it was one of the big channel to present what we can do better. So before Netflix, it was just only in China and Japan and Korea. Only those 3 countries we just they just do a concert or something, have a fan. But since I think since the Netflix was launched, there's a lot of like a K-drama and a K-pop like scenario. Those things was happen. So from that was get bigger. Yeah, and BTS.
Yeah, they were probably the first like huge breakout.
Yeah. It was already big in Japan and China, but in Europe, all of a sudden it was huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When I meet the people, some Western people, I don't know. In Korea, I'm 28. I'm 28. So around my friend, they don't follow any K-pop. But when I'm working here, I meet a lot of French guys, a lot, like crazily a lot. And I ask, hey,
that are into K-pop, French guys.
Not only K-pop, like a K-drama and maybe K-pop a little bit, mostly K-drama, because I met only guys in the barbershop. And I asked them, how come you choose Korea? Because Korea is really far from your country. And then they said, yeah, they want to leave like really exotic country where doesn't exist any European. And they find out Seoul is a pretty amazing, in Japan as well. And how come, Korea? And they say, yeah, they watch Netflix, K-drama. and the K-film as well, the movie. So mostly guys, they not into K-pop. They more into the K-drama, I think, from Netflix. I think the Squid Game that makes really big the Korean like culture. But I don't know, the girls, they might be follow a lot of BTS, like a boys group. But yeah,
I haven't met any from all the people I've talked to. None of them have said that they like really, follow any of the big kind of K-pop bands and stuff. But so that was, like my next question is, so culturally, obviously you guys are quite, inspired by America and you consume a lot of that. But so what's kind of the cultural, I guess, stuff that you guys are into, like you're 28. What kind of music I mean, it's generalizing, of course, you're not all Koreans, but what's kind of popular for you guys?
As a 28, I personally listen like a techno, but I wouldn't say I'm like a general Korean because I lived in Europe and I follow most of like English culture because I'm working a barber and I follow the Western culture, Western barber style. So I wouldn't say I'm the like a regular Korean. But if I see around my friend, they follow hip hop and the K hip hop, Korean hip hop, and the Korean like let's say urban. They mostly they listen them K hip hop, mostly K hip hop. When I was young, I also listened K hip hop. There's a lot of good singer was there, but I think since when like a boy group and like a girl group was showing up, that the mood was changed. All the like like back in the day when the song is come out, then I can feel that vibe and it's so sad or happy or like there's like a story. But now it's only dance and there's no any emotion. It's not dynamic.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, most of our generation, 28 or 30 around, they still listen like old pop in Korea or like American pop. Mostly they like old like 20 or 2010, 2010, those music. I don't think they listen K-pop nowadays. Yeah,
I know it's super common for like, every generation thinks that, their generation had like the good music and that, now the new music just isn't good anymore and whatever. But at the same time, it does really feel like it becomes more and more true because I think the more and more money comes into music and media and things like that, the less soul it kind of seems to have.
Yeah, less soul.
Like I like Blackpink for the sense of that it's such a well orchestrated machine. Like the writing is really good. The the lyrics. I'm sorry, the production is really good. The way that they kind of put everybody together, like the four girls on the same songs, like it's all done by a really rich music label that has a really experienced producer. Like none of this stuff is like it wasn't an accident, right? So I respect what they've done and I enjoy the music because as a finished product, it's really good. However, when you talk about, like the soul and stuff of now these groups and these artists are kind of built from factories, it's like we have this, formula, this recipe, we know what's going to work. Now we just need to spend the money on the best producers, the best, writers and all that stuff. And it seemed like, from when I was a kid, like when Britney Spears kind of came up, that started to get more and more and more. And like, the 70s days of rock and roll and those kind of pop stars and stuff, like that's so far gone. And I think rap was kind of the last genre that really still had that.
Yes.
And even that now is like that's where you see there's so much in rap, especially in Asian rap. I think is a lot of it is kind of like you find a guy who's pretty good, who's got some rhythm. We're gonna buy him a bunch of nice clothes, buy him some chains, get him some great producers, and we'll turn him into a star. And in the US, you still see that a lot of the success of these individual rappers is driven by their personal brand. Like that's why they have to be, give interviews where they say crazy stuff and they have to get arrested from time to time. But that's going away too, just because like there's just so much money in it. And if you know that you can just go and pop out 10 songs that sound the same, then you can make a lot of money quick.
Yeah.
And maybe you're the baby and then all your stuff sounds the same and you fall off, but you made a lot of money before that.
Yeah.
So it does seem like that's now more of a problem of there's a lot less soul in music, I feel like.
Yeah. What I feel, you're right. They're really good. And the problem is is my opinion. The problem is they make a girl group seems like really perfect. So since when they were young, like a young kid, they want to become to them. So when they're 4 or 5, 6, they go to the company and doing like a trainee when they're young, and they don't. Maybe they go to school, but after school they just train like I don't know, like a 10 years, I don't know, 5 years, only like dancing and singing. Like a factory, and they don't even know they're gonna be famous or not. I think that's good, some of them, because they really like to dance or singing. But in Korea, that they make those image to like how do I say? It's like a plastic surgery.
Yeah,
I would say like you advertise really pretty girl on the like a bus station, whatever. So they make those picture to you have to become like this face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
and then it's kind of like a never-ending cycle from that, because now people expect this is what people should look like and this is what people should sound like, and then everybody wants to sound just like Blackpink because Blackpink was so successful.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
what I mean.
Eventually nobody will be as successful until somebody's different and they find the new recipe.
Yes. I think that's a problem in Korea, but it still works. That's why most of our producers, they still making, and most of our entertainments, they still making those like a girl group, boy group.
It'll be interesting to see kind of how it, develops, because I actually thought when reggaeton got so big that like when J Balvin, kind of got huge, and then at the beginning time of, Bad Bunny, I kind of thought like Latin music had the potential to really maybe push, American like English music kind of out of the majority in a way, because it was just so fun, so rhythmic. Like girls love dancing to it. Guys like it, even though they don't know what they're saying, And it does seem like what kind of happened a bit with reggaeton as well is that they found the template. Here's the recipe. This is what you need to look like. This is what you need to sound like. And then all of a sudden they start pumping people out like that. And then now everybody sounds the same. You kind of start to tune it out. So, it could happen, of course, with, K-pop and K-rap and stuff like that. Like there could be the next, thing that comes behind it. But I definitely think that the Korean influence, is definitely here to stay, because I think in America right now, people really just want things that are different. We talked about before of how, you wanted to leave Korea and go experience, a different place, whether it was Canada or Australia or the Netherlands. And me, it was the same way. Like when I first left, Texas, I went to Colorado for 2 years, then went from there, to Europe. You just want stuff that's different from you. And so when Americans get this taste of Korean, and the Korean language sounds really good in rap, like that's an advantage for it, is that it sounds really good in rap music. Not all music, sorry, Dutch, not all languages sound great. There are some good Dutch rap songs for sure, but it takes a lot more effort, I think, to kind of put those in there. And even, like Spanish songs, in rap, like you have to do it kind of like reggaeton. You can't do it the same way that you could an American rap song.
Yeah, true.
And even that, like if you ask Spanish people, like, what does this song say? Like, oh, you can't try to understand those lyrics. Like those don't, mean
But they
anything.
really like themselves, the Spanish guys. They really like a Spanish rap.
It's good. It's good. Like if you don't like, dissect it lyrically, of course you're gonna enjoy it. Like the guys have good voices, they have really good rhythm. I'm still a big reggaeton fan. It's just that not as much as maybe when it first exploded. Let's talk just for a minute about, because you said another thing that I thought was interesting of the like kind of the lifestyle in Seoul was something that you wanted to get away from and go try like other experiences. Now you're back in Seoul, obviously. So it's not that you hate it, or can't stand it in Seoul. But what was it about the kind of culture in Seoul, especially like as a young person, that made you feel a little bit, uncomfortable in a way where you wanted to try other things?
Okay. If you what I feel living in Korea is like everybody follow the same route till you die. That's what I feel. Like go to high school, go to university. If you're a man, go to army, and when you release, you have to finish your uni and doing an internship, get a job, become a senior, marry, and retire, die. That's like yeah, that's like a really standard the route in Korea. Become being like a office man, office job. I think that's sad, really really sad, because what I felt in Netherlands, I never met any guys who want to start a business when they were 18, 17 in Korea. Because when you're 17 in Korea, you're still young as like a baby, like till maybe 19, you're a baby. But in Netherlands, if you're like 16, you're a grown person. You're grown already. You're adult, kinda.
The way they treat kids there, it's like you're an adult when you're 4 almost.
Yeah.
Like,
you can smoke weed, and maybe you're not, but they smoke and then they drink a beer. They already independent from
do drugs at an early age.
Yeah.
Go to festivals alone.
Yeah. Not only from that, they think really fast, because I think the system is different. In Netherlands, they when they're 16, 17, they have to choose what they want in the future.
Yeah.
But in Korea, if you're 17, then you still study like mathematics, the science, Korean, English, like all those like basic subjects. So you don't know what's out there. If you know something, then maybe you want to try something, but they never teach that. Maybe if you go I don't know how to call it English, but like there's like a job school. It's not a job school, but like you can
like a trade school.
Yeah, you can choose
learn a skill and stuff like that.
Yeah. You can choose some subject, maybe mechanic, or maybe
air conditioning, these kind
something
of
like that. But that's also when you're 19, you can start. So 17, 18, still you're young. And this kind of social pressure, if you don't go to uni, you're fucked. You cannot do anything. At least you have to go to uni. That's like a social pressure and standard. So all the it's not all, but most of the parents, they want to go. They want to go their kids to go to university, but they still don't know what they want to learn. They just go to uni without any. Maybe they're gonna think, what do I want to learn? So they choose like I don't know, like a science or whatever, like really basic. And they still don't know. They just pay tuition, and they lost. So most of them, they don't use. When they get a job, they don't use their majors from the university. Just a waste the time and the money. That's what I felt.
They have a law. I don't know when. You can maybe tell me this, but so there's a law in Korea, right, that the maximum hours you can work in a week is 56 or something like that.
52 maybe.
52.
Yeah.
So they had to pass that because people were just working crazy amounts of hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like people before that were working like 80-hour weeks, and it was just normal.
Yeah, back in the day, back in the, I don't know which years back before, but back in the day, yeah, it was 80. So it doesn't actually for now also doesn't matter. There's a 52 or 40 doesn't matter. They just work more than that because they have to finish the project. So and their senior, they don't go home. But now most of the company they keep their rules really okay, but still some of the company they still work more than 52 hours and there's no paid. Maybe some company they paid, but they already used to it, so their complaint internally they never said to the boss or to the senior because everybody work like that. So
Yeah.
what are you?
But that's the reason. So when you talk to people about, so people who have seen K dramas, you've absolutely seen a scene where some colleagues leave work and then they go to some restaurant late at night, they eat some dinner and they drink beer and soju until one of them is like falling, their face on the table. And before I came here, I really thought that must be an exaggeration. Like I thought there's no way that it's really like that. Like, or at least maybe you see it once a month or something like that.
Yeah, and
no, you see it every night. You see it every night at every restaurant that you go to. It's not some like Korean stereotype where they're taking advantage of Korean people. Like they're probably underrepresenting how drunk people get in the Netflix shows because the actors just can't play that drunk. You know what I mean? But it's like you go and you see 4 people in suits, 2 of them women half the time, 2 guys, and they're sitting there. They're yelling at each other. And then when you think, okay, these people, I'm sure they're probably about to leave once that beer. Chogyo! They get a whole nother round. They're all wasted already. And you're like, oh my God, these people. So the reasoning that I've heard for that is that culturally that was kind of developed because of the crazy work weeks. And also the noribang, the karaoke stuff. People said that it used to be really common that even after work, after you end this super long work day, now you're supposed to go get drinks with your colleagues. You're supposed to do karaoke with your colleagues for like, company bonding and stuff. But then a lot of people were like, listen, I work 80 hours a week with these people. I don't also want to go drink with them and do whatever. So that culture, it seems like there are quite a few people who get, dissatisfied with that. But why is it that people can only, see, like you said before, that kind of trap of, I'll get the job and then I work the super late hours and I save as much money as possible. Like, but you really have to be, so driven to be able to live that life and do that every single day. Like, what are people's thinking when they're living that way, or what are their goals? Is it just to make sure that they have enough money when they retire or take care of their family? Like, what's the thinking there?
That's a good question. I don't know what I don't know what they want in the life, but I think what I felt now after I came back to Korea, what I realized, oh man, is even to live really normal person in Korea, even that is really hard to get a one house and one normal house and one normal car and to get a family, like a 4 family. That's really hard to live like that
because of the money. Yeah, it's so expensive.
Yeah, the money and the money. I would say just money. Once you start, here's the thing. Once you start something in Korea, like for example, you start some company, you get a job, and then you work maybe 5 years or 3 years something. But when you feel something to change, it's really hard to change because once you quit, then they don't know what they have to do for like other challenge, I would say. So from that, it's really hard to live really standard the Korean person. That's what I felt first of all, and to the go to restaurant and karaoke. I also when I go to the company, the like a KPN, like a telecom company, I also had that. But I was the leader in the store. So when I was a leader, I really hate that the culture to you have to join to go to restaurant and go to karaoke. So I just said them, yeah, if you wanna eat something, you can come. If you don't want, don't come. It's fine for me. But it was me. But most of the boss level, they're really really old mindset. And because when they were junior, they also treat exactly same what they doing from their old boss, so it's like a really bad routine, like a bad loop.
Yep.
So they learn like that and they treat like that to the young generation. But now it's getting fine, getting better because young generation getting become older and higher,
Right.
higher level. So nowadays it's pretty okay, but some still like old the boss they still treat like, oh man, you have to go, and oh, you don't go, you're a motherfucker or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you said something interesting just there, which is that when you said that it's hard to change, and I think maybe that's something that, because what I'm mindful of when I say this and I think about people listening to it is like, you have this kind of culture that you described of where people, you go to high school and then you go to college and then you get a job and then you get married, or you get married, you get a job, whatever order that is, then you retire and then you die. Like that's actually life in most countries, right? Like it's the same in the US, it's the same in the Netherlands, but it's different because I think that, Tokyo and, Seoul, these are kind of some of the most famous places for that, like crazy hard work ethic type of places. And what you said of the, it being difficult to change is like, when it starts when you're a kid and your parents are putting so much pressure on you to get the best grades in high school you can so that you can go to SNU or one of the Sky, top 3 universities, in Seoul. If you've kind of been drilled and raised that way from the time that you're a child, you're really forming like the kind of person that you are. So at that time, your goal is, get into a good university so that I can get a really good job. And then when you go to one of those universities, now the goal is Samsung, so now you're like, I've got to, bust my ass in this school so that I can go work for Samsung. Or if you want to be a doctor, it's so that I can be go to medical school or whatever. And so it's like, there's always that kind of mindset. And then once you get that job, now you've done all this work in high school, in regular school, and then high school, and then now college. Like now is when you get to have all that work pay off and you actually get to make money. And like you say, it's so expensive here. And, people would live with their parents for very long. It's like, so I guess when you first start that job, now you're thinking, now's my chance. Like I need to make money. And so you start in those early years of, I'm going to work as much as possible until I get that promotion. And then I move up. And then once you kind of set that as like, that's your operating system, that's how you live your life. It has to be really hard at some point to just, you don't just wake up in the morning one day and say, okay, how do I change all this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good point that you say of, it's really hard to change once you get to that point and you've gone that far.
Yeah. And I think most of them, they choose the job not because they want to. They don't know what they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Even I don't know
what most people don't.
Most people, they don't know what they want. But at least you have to try to find what you want in your life, because you're going to live like 80 years. And bro, you're going to live 80 years and you're going to work what you don't like. That's horrible, man. But I think all the countries are the same to find what they want. But in Korea, they go to uni and they get a job, and finally they, from maybe 26 or 25, 6, 7, 5, they finally get a money. And at some point, even if they feel like they don't like their job, what they want.
Yeah. What else can I do?
Yeah.
What other option?
Yeah. So they try. Nowadays, I saw a lot of young generation. They do like a YouTube and Bitcoin and crypto. and like
RIP Bitcoin.
yeah, influence like Instagram or TikTok. That's good, but that's doesn't that shouldn't be the main job, you know?
Yeah.
That needs to be like a sub job. But yeah, that's I think the young generation they don't want to hard work nowadays. That's why they change. They only work like those like thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's pretty sad. And what I heard nowadays, who running the restaurant or all those like just normal job, most of the people who's the CEO, they said, bro, we not we hire people in Korea. In Korea now the minimum wage is €7 as a euro. It's a 7 or 8, but they make it up to like a €12, €13. That's pretty big, but still nobody want to work at the restaurant because it's hard.
Yeah.
They just want to work at the convenience 7-Eleven, get just a minimum wage, and maybe their study or maybe they YouTube and all other thing. They don't want to learn some skills as before. That's also a problem nowadays. Yeah, it's stuck, man. It's stuck.
I meet a lot of people around that like 23-year-old range who like you talk to them about what they want to do and they say, you know, I want to start my own business. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, what do you want to do? I want to start a clothing line, or I want to start, you know, like a makeup brand or something like this. And it's like, do you have like a, you know, inside track for that? Like, do you have some special type of thing? Like, no, I just want to do it because I don't want to work for other people. And it's like that, you know, is a big common thing where it's like, you know, I just don't want to work. I want to have a lot of money, but I don't want to work.
And now I don't know. It's you know, fire.
Yeah, the retire early.
Yeah,
thing. Something retire early.
That's I don't know. For my opinion, that's weird. That's
what's the core concept of that? Is it that you make a lot of money early and you save as much as possible and then you retire?
My opinion?
No. Is that the concept? The fire thing?
Yeah. Make a lot of money when you're young. So since when you were young, you work really hard.
Don't go out. You don't do anything fun. Yeah. Like you save. You don't buy new shoes. Like you live like you're in poverty. You know, for 15 years or something.
Yeah, and retire at the 35 or 45.
I also don't like that because you know what I mean. Like I think your best years are your youth, and so you know, like traveling Europe when you're 20. Or Asia, wherever you want to travel, is way more fun than traveling it when you're 45.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, of course, you think, oh yeah, well, I'll have money when I'm 45 and I can do more stuff. That stuff's true, but it's a totally different type of travel. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm not huge on the fire thing anyway, but so now, you know, we're sitting here in your barbershop that you started here in Seoul in Itaewon. But before I, you know, get to kind of how you got to that point, obviously, I think living in the Netherlands and seeing that, you know, they're famous for their work-life balance. You know, Europe, I think in general is known for work-life balance, but in some places like France, that's just code for laziness, you know, but the Netherlands, the Netherlands is, I think, really a good mixture of, you know, work and life. Like they work hard when they work and they work well when they work. Like you can work with Dutch people because if they tell you we want to get it done by this time or we want to do this, like
really direct.
They'll answer your emails, they'll answer your phone calls. Like some other countries, you know, they'll leave you hanging for months or something like that. Yeah. So how was living in the Netherlands like, you know, for you? How did that shape your feeling of, you know, what you thought the ideal, you know, work life looked like for you?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It was like wonderful. But I think there's a good thing and bad thing. It's a reverse. The good thing is there's really a perfectly work-life balance. So there's like there's a dinner time. So if you have a family, you can hang out with your family, spend the time. Or if you have a friend, you can still go out after 6. You can go to the bar and then drink a beer, or you can study or whatever you want after 6. So the work-life balance was amazing, but in the other hand, that makes you lazy. You don't, because it's good money with the 9 to 6, maybe 10 to 6 is really good money. Maybe you can live whatever you want with maybe 2,000-3,000 euros. Still, you can pay the rent and get a groceries or whatever. So there's no you don't feel like you need something more. You don't. It's so comfort there. You just live in your comfort zone. So you don't feel like I need to change something. So after 6, yeah, they smoke a lot. Yeah, me as well. Yeah, me.
No politicians here.
All right. Yeah, they smoke a lot and they go to party, they drink, and they just wake up and they just go work again. It's like the same routine. That makes you. I was lazy actually in Netherlands. I didn't study. I didn't do some productive thing. But if you want to live just normal life, then yeah, Netherlands was amazing. I want to go back. I want to go back because now I work like goddamn it 14 hours. Yeah, I don't have a girlfriend. Maybe I have a friend. I have a friend, but I never met them. Even I don't met my parents because I just started this business. There's no my single life. I just spend all my time for my business. There's no dinner time.
The whole point of this podcast was supposed to be to promote entrepreneurship to other Koreans. And now he's shitting all over it. Like, entrepreneurship sucks.
No, it's not.
Do it.
It's not sucks. But I prefer this life. I'm really I changed my lifestyle like this because I'm doing. How do I say? I'm living. In my dream.
Yeah.
In my I create my lifestyle. I don't living at the other thing, other like who create their space.
Yeah.
And I belong to them. I create my place and I'm still creating my room, I would say. So I'm really happy with that.
Are you telling the truth, or are you saying that just because of what I just said?
No. I'm really happy.
Okay,
definitely,
great.
It's really, really tough to being owner and CEO. I wouldn't say I'm a CEO. I'm just owner of this shop. It's really tough. You have to take care. Like all those is completely different. Being entrepreneur and being employee.
Yeah,
it's damn different. I didn't know it's damn hard like this, but. Solving myself and figuring myself to all the stuff is really fun, and I'm still enjoying. And if someone asks me, you want to go back to just employee in Netherlands? No, never. Yeah, never, because it's good money, and I got a freedom. If I don't want to work, I don't work.
Yeah.
If I want to work, I work. But there's no. I never had those like a time. If I don't want to work, I never had that. But I can choose, So, if you want to live in your world, I definitely recommend being entrepreneur.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think in the Netherlands they have that term for it, the golden cage. So it's like it's golden and it looks really nice because you get this high salary and you have the good healthcare and everything is well kind of taken care of, but it is still a cage in a way. Like you don't have that full freedom. At least before COVID, like a lot of stuff has now changed. But like you couldn't just take off and go to Spain for a few months or go to Italy for a while or go to Africa and do these kind of crazy things. Like. You always had to be back in the office on Monday. Now, of course, you get 5 weeks of holidays in the Netherlands, which is amazing. Like, especially
you agree, right? You agree. Work-life balance in Netherlands.
Yeah, when you compare it to the America, where it's like you're lucky to have your two.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah. So I mean, I totally agree with you. I wonder how things will change now post-COVID because entrepreneurship is more accessible than it's ever been. You know, if you want to be an entrepreneur, I don't think that there's ever been an easier time to do it than now. There's so many tools online. There's so, much access to, different marketplaces and things like that. Like there shouldn't be any excuses in the sense of like, oh, well, you know, this is too hard or that's too hard or whatever. But so what I wonder about that is like the more accessible it gets and the more good, talented, smart people go work in entrepreneurship and actually make money, the more flexible these traditional companies are going to have to be, because they're going to want to keep that good talent. You know, if they lose a good employee who goes and starts their own business, that sucks for them because now they don't make as much money as they could have. Yeah. So they're going to have to adapt in a way and say like, okay, look, we can, you can work remote whenever you want to. You can, work from another country. You can do all these kind of things. Like, I think companies will just more and more have to adapt to that world as long as entrepreneurs are still successfully, doing things. But for me, I think the flexibility is great. Like, but I like you say before, I kind of envy those people who can work 50 hours a week at a really good company and make really good money and just be happy with that. Like play golf on the weekends, go on their boat or whatever. Like, I wish that I could be like that. Yeah. Because, when my first like entrepreneurial, well, wasn't my first one, but in the Netherlands, when I quit working at an English school that I was teaching at and decided I wanted to open my own English school, I would have made so much more money if I would have just stayed teaching English, in all those years. Yeah. Not even close. But that feeling of like you're building something for yourself, like you're designing your own life. Like that's something that I think entrepreneurs, and especially every entrepreneur that I've talked to on this podcast, like there's just some itch that we have, some screw loose. That's the only lifestyle that we see, and it's been a bit difficult for me now because so the past like 5 years, I've had my own business and I felt like I was an entrepreneur, but at the same time, I had a full-time job. Yeah. So I didn't realize like how much security and how much comfort I had in that full-time job. Now that it's just me and it's just like, I'm the only one that has to tell myself to get up at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning and go do some work. Like it's difficult, it is a totally different mindset switch, but it's something that I'm just willing to keep working at and keep willing to put that time in because like you say, that lifestyle, that feeling of that you're doing it for yourself, like independently, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah, true. When it's exactly the same when I worked at the telecom company, I got like a 4,000 or 5,000 of euro every month in my bank account. That's a kind of drug, Yeah. Every month you get a 4,000 or 5,000 in your bank account, and you never worry about your financial issue. Yeah. So you just wake up at 10 and then go to work and finish at or 8. I was finished at 8. It's just just the same routine all night long, and times is like 1 year, 2 years, and you never build yourself in that company. You just work for them. But what if you quit? What if it will never happen. But what if the company is gone?
It does happen. It happens to a lot of people. Your company, it wouldn't maybe have happened to, but it happens to a lot of people every day.
Yeah, back in the day, maybe still going on out there. But then
think about all those people that just got laid off at Twitter and Facebook and Google. Like, you would think you're super safe if you work at one of those 3 companies, right? Yeah. You're making tons of money. Yeah. And then just boom, tomorrow they tell you, listen, we were cutting staff and you're gone. You're fucked. That's what they're saying. Like, it happens to people every day, no matter how safe you think you are.
Yeah. Still fuck. Yeah. That's fucked up. Bless you. No, I mean, that's like a good thing and bad thing in the same time. An entrepreneur also is there's a good side and bad side at the same time. As you said, we when they do something themselves, what I felt, I start from when I started this barbershop, I had a hell out of a confidence in my mind. I'm gonna be a fucking good barber, big barber, and maybe I'm gonna be a richest person in the as a barber in Korea. But life doesn't go what you plan. So every day you cannot present your day how much will be the profit this month or today or tomorrow the client will become or not. You cannot present whole your life. If you were,
you can't. You mean you can't predict? Like you can't predict how much you're gonna.
Predict. Yeah. So every day, anxious.
How long ago did you open it up?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. 3 months and 1 week maybe.
And what was that process like when you were thinking about starting your own barbershop? Because this is a nice place. Like it's 3 stories.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely put a little bit of an investment in here, you know, to make it nice. And you're in Itaewon and like right next to the station in a really good neighborhood. You know, so you definitely made a commitment here. Like what was that thought process like and the journey?
Ooh, that was long. Actually, it wasn't my plan to start my business, the shop immediately. Since I come to Korea, my plan was I didn't have money. I only had a, I only had a 1500. Wait, yeah, 15,000. My whole budget was a 15,000 in my bank account. Definitely is not enough to start my business with this kind of barbershop. So I tried to get a job as a barber, as an employee. So I worked at the one barbershop. There was an English barber. But I...
Did you also cut hair in the Netherlands as well?
Yeah. I earned 3,000-4,000 as a barber in Netherlands. But when I worked at the barbershop in Korea, I earned how much? Like a 1,500? Was like a half cut, like a half of salary compared with Netherlands salary. And you know, I have to pay the rent in Korea. I have to save the money for my business in the future. I calculated how much should I work if I earn like this 1,500. Fuck man, I have to more than five years. Then I become like a 35 or something like that. Then it's too late, you know?
Yeah.
So I quit and I tried to other barbershop where they give a good money, but they don't hire. So I was thinking, sure, what should I do now? And I checked some loan from the government. The loan, some money from the government. It was a good rate, really low rate, and they borrow maximum. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's all right.
They borrow maximum. How much was it? Like a 25 or 30,000 euro in once if you're under 34 or something. So yeah, I check all the condition with those system, and yeah, because I don't want to lose my English skill, and in Seoul most of the international town in Seoul is Hongdae and Itaewon. But what I felt in Hongdae is too young kids. There's too many young kids, like a 20s and a uni person.
Yeah.
But in Itaewon, there's a lot of U.S. Army and most of my age, like last 20s or 30s. So I choose Itaewon, and my budget was only then like a 45,000 euro. And yeah, I saw a lot of place where I want to start. And with that budget, you cannot actually get a good place like a front of the station or really big place. So yeah, at the time I saw this building, and this building was empty. I was the first guy, and in Korea, the fucked up thing is deposits are crazy. If you want to borrow your house or store, you have to pay like more than 20 times of your rent fee. So
that's insane.
Yeah, I think it's only Korea. So here, the deposit is how much is it? 25,000 euro. Yeah, and the rent is like 1,700. So it's more than 10 times, right? How can I get money if you're 20? If you're 30? where's the 25,000 euro in your bank account? It's almost impossible. Anyway, here was my maximum budget, like a 25,000 of a deposit and 1,700 of the rent in a monthly. And yeah, I just renovate myself everything after I got a contract from this store. I did all in. I took I had a really small amount of stock from like a Google and crypto, and it was really small, and everything was the blue. Yeah, it was minus like a 20 or something like that. Anyway, I took all the money from my bank and my stock and my crypto. I just all in to my business, and yeah. From then I had to pay more than how much, 2,100 euro per month for my house and this store, this shop. But I never had this kind of situation in my life. I have to pay 2,100 every month. That's fucked up if you don't pay, if you cannot pay. So yeah, I was really desperate at the beginning. Man, if there's one client comes in, man, I'm gonna show everything in my brain and all my service. I expect I can't pay my rent upcoming 6 months.
You expected that?
Yeah, I expected, because I'm a beginner and nobody knows me. So I saved small amounts of money for only the rent, maybe like a 7,000 euro in my bank account or extra. But yeah, I don't know why it went good. Yeah, it's not really good, but at least I could pay the rent.
Yeah,
that was amazing. And yeah, and every day I was worried when I go to sleep and when I go to work. Every day I worry about, if there's no client, how should I do? If there's no like a appointment, what should I do? 14 hours at the shop. I didn't know what should I do. Should I clean or should I do marketing? I just did it. What I can do, just I don't know. Is it right or wrong? Doing the Instagram stories, post. Yeah.
So how did you get your first customers? Was it social media or was it?
It was a Korean Google Naver.
Mm-hmm.
I also upload all my business on the Naver, and they just found me from there, and they asked me, "Can I get a haircut?" But that moment, I opened my shop, but my barber chair didn't arrive from the China. So I only had this chair back in that, and I said, "Yo, definitely, man, you can get a haircut, but I don't have a chair." And he said he was so cool, doesn't give a shit, just give me nice haircut, and he just sit in this chair, and yeah, I gave him the haircut, and he was satisfied, and he still come to me. And yeah, that's how I start in this shop. I love it. I think, yeah, it's really weird set, like a layer, like out look, like a 3-floor, really small
the layout.
Floor. Yeah, layer. So when I do paint and when I do decorate, it was horrible. It was like the middle of July in Korea.
Oof.
No air condition in this building. I died. Yeah, for sure. I was killing myself.
For laughing at you.
Yeah. But anyway, I made it, and yeah, I'm really pretty happy with this result.
Yeah.
And since now it's pretty good. Even there's some happen in Itaewon. Yeah, definitely. Every day is like a challenge. You have to just is fight myself. It is the doing my business is fighting myself. It's a mentality. If your mentality is screwed, then you cannot wake up and you can't run your business anymore. So actually, when the Itaewon the treasury was happened, I was, whoa man! I just opened my shop 2 months or 3 months, and nobody come to Itaewon anymore.
Yeah,
I think still nobody come for having fun, but I have to come to the shop and open anyway because I have to pay the rents and yeah, responsibility. So most of the shop around here in Itaewon, they're really in the problem. Maybe on the street, the main street, the rent fee is more than 10,000. Really expensive in Korea. The rents on the main street. They are ruined.
So yeah, I hope it's only temporary. I mean, so obviously you're talking about the the tragedy at the Halloween party at the club, not that far from here actually. But yeah, it's, I mean, when I first came here, what was that? I guess just a couple weeks ago. I had been in Seoul over 2 weeks already at that point, and I just wanted to come to Itaewon because when you first come to Seoul, like if you research what are the best neighborhoods to stay in, like it's always one of the top 5 that they talk about, and it's really a famous area. And so I hadn't seen it because I had made some friends with some backpackers in the first week that I was here, and they came here one of the days and they said like, don't go. It's super sad. It's really quiet. Like, it's not really comfortable to be there, whatever. So I waited a little bit, of time for that to kind of, hopefully go away. And it was by far way quieter than every other area of Seoul that I've been to so far. Like, especially just people on the street, like most areas, like you're kind of having to dodge people and, you bump people from time to time and stuff like that, and not really here so much. Tonight, though, when I got off the subway, it was like about 6 p.m. and there was quite a few more people here than there were last time. So I think maybe it is starting to pick back up.
Yeah.
And I hope so, because it is like you say, especially after COVID, like I know you guys didn't have the same kind of lockdowns that they did in the Netherlands, like where they didn't completely shut everything here. Like, but it's still, closing at 9 p.m. for a club or a bar, like you're losing money for sure.
Yeah.
So to have all that stuff just now be kind of, they just lifted
recovering.
I mean, it's just such terrible luck for a lot of these businesses. But, you told me, a couple of weeks ago that the business is going, fairly well so far. And that's great because you've only been open for just a few months.
Yeah.
And in those few months, you have this tragedy that really hurts the foot traffic here. And that's actually the only way that I found this place is I just stepped off the metro, pulled up Google Maps and thought, let's see what's kind of, nearby, because I didn't even really have anything on the list of what to see or what to do. And I needed a haircut at the time quite badly. And then one of the first things that pops up is Lekker Barbershop. And then it says, European, haircuts or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm typically the person that's a little bit embarrassed to have to go to the expat friendly places, like I like to go to places where they speak to me in Korean and I just point at stuff and,
okay.
I'm a little bit embarrassed. But with your hair, that's just one thing that you really shouldn't take so many, risks on.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that, I thought, okay, let's just do it. I'll just go. And it was right next to the station. And then I came and, you were super nice and everything. So that's probably how a lot of people find it is they're just kind of looking around. They see on the maps, like whether it's Naver or Google that you're here. And then that European barbershop makes you think, oh, okay, I think this guy probably speaks English.
Yeah, that was kind of my intentional to attract some Dutch people to recognize some lekker, and for now there's now many foreigner clients, mostly Korean here. At the beginning of the treasury, there was only foreigner actually, because the Korean people, when they get a big a sad issue in the news, they walk on the shell. Is it right? Walk on the shell.
Eggshells.
Yeah. To other how other people look at me if I do something like in this moment, they're gonna maybe
judge me.
Yeah, judge me. So at the beginning, Korean people, they never came to Itaewon, And foreign people, maybe they're sad at the beginning, but only one day or like a few days. And after all, you have to live your life, right? You cannot live only for that the sad happen out there. But now there's no foreigner tourist in Itaewon. Maybe they go to Hongdae more. So yeah, nowadays there's a lot of Korean client, and today also mostly Korean client they book from Naver. So it's still okay. And before these 3 months, I had a lot of the clients, so I made it regularly. So they just came to me again and again. So from that, still okay, but there's not many new clients. But yeah, it'll be okay. So I don't worry it actually, but definitely anxious.
No, yeah, it's good that you have a few already, you know, from these like first couple months. But definitely, I think like in this time, yeah, you need the kind of foot traffic to pick back up, and it definitely will. I think like I'm not an expert; I've only been here for a few weeks, but you can already start to see a little bit more of like people talking about coming here more, and the kind of tragedies a little bit less on people's minds. I hadn't actually thought about it in a long time until today on the subway when I told you that it was like, you know, that girl almost got run over by a bunch of people trying to get off. And you're like, oh shit, like that's how that happened, you know? And I do wonder, you know, I think that that's something that it's not necessarily something that you want to stay on people's minds, but you do want people to realize, you know, what happened and why it happened and how it can kind of be better going forward. Because as much as we all want to get off the subway, as much as we all want to go see this influencer or go down this alley, like it's never, you know, so important that, you know, something like that, you know, should happen. So hopefully they find a way to kind of balance the two, like, you know, improve things, but at the same time, keep the nightlife going and things like that. And
man.
how has the nightlife been?
In Itaewon?
Yeah.
So quiet, man. Yeah, I think the club is open. Some club. I went one time, maybe last Saturday. A friend of mine, he played the DJ there. I can count with my finger.
No.
Yeah, it was less than 10 at the Saturday night. And on the street, there's no people. Yeah, mostly they go to Gangnam or Hongdae nowadays, but it was packed back in the day before that happened.
Yeah.
But now the club, some club is open, but still they're, there's no choice. If they're closed, what can they do?
Yeah.
That's why they just open, but still there's not many people comes in. But it's getting better. I would say it's getting better, but still not there. You know, I think it needs to take some time, maybe at least 3 months or 4 months, because mostly in Itaewon, when it comes to weather is good, then they show out. So in the winter season, many other entrepreneur around here, they say, yeah, in Itaewon it's a pretty quiet in the winter, so it'll be fine. It'll be pass away. It will be go away.
So what are your long-term goals for the barbershop? Because you just opened, you know, a few months ago, you have this big commitment and everything to it. So not just like for the barbershop itself, but kind of your life over the next few years. Like, how do you want things to play out if they can happen just the way you want them to?
My final goal is make it franchise and go to abroad. And the franchise make a chain there as well, to the States, to the Netherlands, to Germany. That's my final goal. I don't want to being just barber at one hood and work till 70 years old and die. You know, like just no more barbershop. I don't like that. If I put out the knife, I want to do something with the knife. You know what I mean? At least I want to do something, maybe cut some apple, whatever. So for now, I hired one barber. As you can see, there's a setup. Till next summer, I want to hire one more barber. So three barbers, they're going to work here. And if there's any chance, I want to make a chain in Hongdae in 1.5 year maybe, and 4 barbershop in Korea, and make a franchise all the world, more than 100. That's my
big goals.
Big goal, and
big goals.
Make a academy. Go to like workshop. That's my barbershop goal, I would say. But at the same time, nowadays I really think about my before that my belief is uh my belief is I changed something from this February. I was working in Amsterdam at some barbershop, and I saw one like motivation video in the YouTube. Yeah, if you're a man, you know that
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, as well. The really old guy, Dan Pena.
I don't know him.
I don't know. Anyway, he said, "Yeah, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead. Lions never wait, you know." So since then, my whole my mindset was changed. You know, I told you when I was in Netherlands, I was lazy. I just after work, I just smoke, or I just living my life doing some YouTube. But every day was the same, exactly same. When I worked in the telecom company, it was the same. Just get a salary. So after that, the motivation video, I wanted to become a fucking big person like Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. It's different story, but anyway, I got inspired a lot from that video. So yeah, from that, my dream I just set up. I want to get a lot of my shop and being entrepreneur, and I want to work with who has a same goal with me, have a who the passionate about the barbering, and I want to work with them, and I want to spread all my shop in the world. That was my belief, and I thought successful it was make a lot of money, and I had to make a lot of money. So I got since then I cut all my social connection with my friends or game or YouTube. I didn't watch any like reels or like stupid shit, you know. I mean, I watch nowadays the stupid thing, but back in the day, I just cut all my social thing. I just focus on my work, and I got depressed. After all, I don't know why. I got depressed because I at some point I looked around or looked around me. There's no friends, and nobody was around me, which is
lonely.
Yeah, lonely. And I think it needs to be balanced. Sometimes you need to having fun with your friends and spend your money, and maybe do some gaming or watching some funny YouTube. And I think still in my head, I'm still confusing. Should I follow only focus on my work, like manifest my dream, or just make it balance with your friends and do some funny stuff? Still, actually, today as well.
I think we all go through that, man. Like I'm going through it right now because I also just saw a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he was, interviewing some other entrepreneur, and the guy was saying something about like how in the first, 5 years of your business or something like that, like if you're not working, 10, 12 hours a day on your business, like you're never going to be successful. You're never going to do this stuff. And I'm the same. Like I try to keep the work-life balance, like the Netherlands influence that we talked about, because I want it to be sustainable, like I've also had periods where, back in the Netherlands, I would, work like a full-time 9 to 5,
yeah,
and then go to a co-working space where I had my own office and then go work there until 10 or 11 at night, you know? And I was doing that, you know, probably 4 days a week for months. And at that time, I didn't really have any problems, but then it's always like later on that then you might have a couple months where you just feel like you can't do anything, you know, you just kind of like have that mini burnout or something. Yeah. So definitely it's taken me some adjusting, like, you know, moving here to Seoul from the Netherlands, like, and so it's taken me quite a bit to kind of get my personal routines and everything back in order. But I definitely feel like now I should be working more. And so I'm trying to push myself to work more and more. But at the same time, it's like, I try not to fall too much into that trap, because I know for me personally, every time I just push myself too much in that way, like I need, you know, to be grounded with friends and social activities and things like that, because that's kind of what inspires me to do the other stuff, you know, like I go out and I see, you know, if I go out on the Saturday night, you know, here in Seoul, and I see all these super rich people with, you know, beautiful girls and all this stuff, I'm like, shit, I need to make more money. Like, so I can be like these people. And then I work more during the week, you know? So it's like this kind of,
that's good.
Back and forth. It's probably not the healthiest inspiration.
Yeah. But that's good way, I think, to get inspired from that. I was like that back in the day, but now if I go to club or the bar or to hang out with the people, after all, when I came back to home, what am I doing? I don't know. I lose my it's hard to explain. I lost how can I enjoy life. I think I'm doing too obsessed to successful, I guess.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to let it go in my mind. So nowadays I'm doing some exercise to learn some boxing and some meditation. Some workout, run. Yeah, that's pretty healthy because, you know, I thought myself I'm really obsessed about success now. So it's obsessed. When you're obsessed, you can't control in your to your future, right? You can't control. But when you can't control yourself, then you got depressed.
Yeah.
So I also went to the psychology. Yeah, the hospital, and I took a pill. When I took a pill, it was amazing, you know. I have a positive mind, and it's like ecstasy, you know. It's going crazy. That's also addictive, you know. You lead on the pills as well. So I quit. And yeah, I think eventually you have to just figure in yourself with just a normal mind, normal
mindset.
Yeah.
So let's say that you know, you're sharing one of these clips on your Instagram, one of your friends shares it, and then somebody else sees it, you know, and that tell, you know, some other person here in Seoul that might see, you know, this clip or whatever, why they should come here to get their hair cut, what kind of experience it is, all that kind of stuff.
In the shop?
Yep. Just sell the shop to people who might see this.
Oh. I'm not a best barber. I wouldn't say I'm a best barber in the Seoul. There's a lot of barber. They're fucking amazing, better than me, 100%. But I have a character, that I really friendly, I would say. I don't know, they want to friendly during a haircut, but I'm more like a chill guy. In Korea, most of them, when you get a haircut, it's different. In Europe or America, they talk while the haircut and hey, what you doing and what do you do for a living and how you have a girlfriend. But in Korea, it's not never talk, but most of them they don't talk. They just close their eyes and during 1 hour, and they don't ask. Maybe they ask, but my weapon is. I don't make a client. I make a friend.
Oh.
Yeah. The money doesn't matter, actually. If you don't like my haircut, I wouldn't get a pay. I wouldn't get the money from you because you're my friend. And if you don't like, why should I? So, yeah, if you want to make a friend, come to me. And the haircut will be 100% perfect. Yeah. I wouldn't say perfect, but
that's good. I got my hair. See, look, it looks great, huh? I got this done here.
Yeah.
So I can be an influencer, endorser for you. That it good haircuts.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, man. I can make you handsome as well. And yeah. What I have my my good thing in Korea as a barber, I know what the European people want, like a normal, like not in the like Instagram, like a crazy haircut, crazy fade. Maybe they want, but just really normal European hair cut.
Yeah,
they don't know as a Korean, but I work there in Netherlands. So I can do some Afro, Asian, Western, have a many type of hair. I got experience. So
so how can people like find you or support you? Do you have like an Instagram that you want people to follow or anything like that?
Yeah, I have an Instagram. I have a TikTok. I have a YouTube. I have everything, but I don't do TikTok or YouTube nowadays. I only do Instagram for my marketing. So you can find me at Instagram, maybe.
What's just your personal one, or do you have one for the barbershop as well?
Yeah, for the barbershop, you can search Lekker Barbers. It's really lekker, so you can check it out. Yeah, my personal is no fun, man.
I'll put the link to it. It's long and
anyway, yeah, man.
But no, I'll put all the links and everything definitely in the show notes. But just in case people listen, it's nice to give them something that they can do to follow. Well, Han, thank you so much for sitting down with me doing the podcast.
Yeah, man. I didn't expect it's gonna be really long. How many hours we did?
1.5.
Damn, it's really long, huh?
Easy though, huh? It's easy to just sit there and talk for a long time.
I thought, what should I talk?
Yeah.
And I expect like a 30-minute actually, and in my head. What should I talk with with the mic? But damn,
People,
1.5
hours. Yeah, people say that a lot, but then I think you always have a lot more to say than you think you do, and especially like with the story of entrepreneurship and your background and things like that. Like and then of course we talk about the cultural things and whatever. Like there's always so much to say, and I always have these feelings like when it finishes, especially when I go and edit them, I'm always like, oh, I didn't ask about this, or damn it, I didn't ask about that. Like that would have been a good follow-up question. Like these podcasts could probably be 5-6 hours, whatever, if you just really wanted to like find out everything about somebody and their entire experience. So like that bit that you get, for the 90 minutes, like normally it's pretty good, but never fully covers anything.
Wow.
So but people aren't going to listen forever, so you have to cutoff point, I think. But
anyway, it was so fun, man.
Thanks for doing it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. For sure.
100%. I want to do again. I'm gonna go to Texas and I'm gonna join your podcast again.
Hey, as soon as you open up that next location, wherever it is, we should definitely do another one. See how the progress.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, cool. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro.
And thank you, everybody. Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Latus.